Need your opinion, though, obviously, as to behind the reports that Meghan Markle is consumed with jealousy over Lauren Sanchez's luxury life. The title says, as Jeff Bezos' fiance is everything she wanted to be.
Get ready, because this story does not just move forward, it struts in like it owns every bright light in Hollywood. Rumors are swirling that Meghan Markle has been flashing her most dazzling smile toward none other than Jeff Bezos himself. Yes, Jeff Bezos, the Amazon giant who could practically buy a whole country if he ever felt like it. And Meghan, she has been drifting into his business circle like someone who suddenly remembers they were once an actress, and once the cameras pointed their way again, it feels like a quiet walk back into the spotlight, but with a dramatic pose attached. Now, here comes the twist that gives this whole situation its spark. Right between Meghan and Jeff, just like a glamorous velvet rope at a VIP award show, stands Lauren Sanchez. And Lauren is not just Jeff's partner. She is confident, glamorous, deeply connected, and absolutely not someone who lets just anyone wander into her world. Sources say Lauren noticed Meghan's sparkle attempt from a mile away and shut that door with a smile so sweet it probably felt like a warning wrapped in sugar. So now everyone is wondering, was Meghan chasing a new opportunity, a business connection, a climb back to A-list attention, or maybe all of them at the same time? The mystery just keeps getting louder. So this is where our tale begins, with Meghan reaching high, Bezos looking like the biggest prize in the room, and Lauren making sure the Duchess stays exactly outside that elite circle. And this is the point where the whispers really began, turning gossip into a full-on saga.
And that basically Meghan is watching Lauren from afar, from afar, wondering why her life hasn't turned out to be as exquisite. So
Meghan did not just accept any acting job. She went straight for a cameo in an MGM film backed by Amazon, and she even played herself. Sources say this choice was no random moment at all, and that detail is what caught Hollywood's attention. Executives immediately noticed she chose Amazon instead of Netflix, even though Netflix is the platform that gave her and Harry their big documentary spotlight. People working inside studios began whispering that Meghan was professionally trying to get close to Jeff Bezos. Everyone kept using the word professionally, but they said it the same way someone says, "It is just a little coincidence," while lifting an eyebrow so high it almost touches the ceiling. That tone said everything. Suddenly, Meghan was being discussed in meetings, not as a royal figure or a charity speaker, but as someone who was inching closer to Bezos, the man who owns the studio where she now wanted to shine. Hollywood noticed the shift, Netflix noticed the shift, Lauren absolutely noticed, and Meghan acted like none of it was unusual at all. Now, here is where the stakes turn even juicier. A rival studio insider shared that Bezos is one of the rare people who could fund anything Meghan and Harry imagine. That includes movies, documentaries, lifestyle brands, or even brunch parties that feel like world domination with a menu. With Bezos in her corner, Meghan would not just get a platform. She would get power, money, status, and a second chance to rebuild her place in Hollywood. Another source explained her decision with one simple line. Someone said, "Why go back to Netflix when you can aim for the man who owns the future?" And honestly, that is exactly how Meghan thinks.
It says, as Sanchez preps to marry the Amazon billionaire, Markle was left fuming to see her have the fantasy life in Cannes decked out in diamonds.
Jeff Bezos is more than a producer and more than a billionaire. In Hollywood terms, he is a kingmaker, the type of man who can build careers with a single yes. But every kingdom already has a queen on the throne, and her name is Lauren Sanchez. Before Meghan even batted an eyelash toward Jeff's powerful universe, she seemed to overlook one small but sparkling diamond detail. Jeff is taken, and not by just anyone. Lauren Sanchez stands right beside him, and she is definitely not a quiet shadow hiding in the background. Lauren is bold, she is glamorous, She is connected in ways that stretch across Hollywood like a glittering web of elite friendships, including Bethany Frankel, who reportedly had Meghan figured out long before anyone else. Sources say Lauren spotted Meghan's move before Meghan even took the first step, which shows just how sharp she really is. And here comes the twist that made everyone gossip even louder. People in the industry say Meghan and Lauren share a tiny similarity. Both know how to find powerful men, both know how to dress for attention, and both know how to walk into a room like they are strutting down a runway. But here is the difference that keeps Hollywood talking. Lauren owns it. Meghan performs it. Lauren does not pretend to be modest or overly sweet. She shines on purpose, embraces every spotlight, and stands fully as herself. That confidence makes her nearly impossible to replace, which is exactly why insiders whispered that Meghan will never get past Lauren.
Lauren is everything Meghan thought she'd become. Instead, Meghan's peddling preserves, while Lauren's draped in diamonds at the Cannes red carpet.
Lauren is not just Jeff's partner. She is his gatekeeper, his filter, and his guardrail. And anyone who wants access to Bezos has to go through her first. So, Meghan trying to get close to Jeff without acknowledging Lauren was like trying to sneak into a castle while the queen stands at the drawbridge, holding the keys and smiling sweetly as she says, "Not today, darling." If Meghan imagined she could simply glide into the Bezos circle, the Kardashian birthday celebration proved something very different. That night should have been glamorous, but it was remembered for all the wrong reasons. Harry and Meghan attended Kris Jenner's birthday, yet instead of blending in like polished Hollywood royalty, they stuck out like a squeaky shopping cart rolling across a luxury boutique. The photos that surfaced told a story louder than any headline. Meghan was caught snapping her fingers for attention, almost like she was calling for a personal butler in a palace she no longer owns. Harry stood nearby, looking confused, as if someone forgot to hand him a script for the evening. Meanwhile, the other women glowed with confidence, relaxed, and effortlessly glamorous, while Meghan's expression seemed to shout, "Why is the camera catching my bad angle?" Sources claim the guests did not warm to the couple at all. They were not charming, not magnetic, and they were not invited into any private jokes or toasts. Instead, they faded into the background, and Meghan does not believe she belongs in the background. Hollywood noticed the shift because Hollywood sees everything, and the whispers grew louder by the minute. If Meghan could not impress the Kardashians, the queens of reinvention, image, and social power, how did she think she could rise inside the world ruled by Jeff Bezos? That night did not elevate her status, it lowered it, and Meghan could feel the drop as clearly as if someone had slammed a door in her face. And this is where the tension suddenly jumped from awkward to explosive. A Montecito source revealed that when Meghan saw the photos from the Kris Jenner event, she absolutely lost control of her emotions.
An insider explained Lauren has actual influence. She's got Jeff Bezos' money and the ability to shape conversations on a global scale. Meghan has a podcast that fizzled, a jam label, and a reputation for burning bridges.
This was not a tiny sigh or a gentle tear. It was a full-blown meltdown because Meghan likes to approve every photo of herself before it ever reaches the outside world, and this time she had zero control. The angles were harsh. The dress did not deliver the magic she imagined. The side-by-side comparisons with other women were absolutely unforgiving. And the Kardashians, they were not pleased at all. Word spread that they were furious. Meghan and Harry's awkward energy dragged attention away from Kris Jenner's big celebration. The night was meant to praise the woman who practically created modern fame, not to revolve around Meghan's panic over how cameras captured her. Here is where the sting cuts even deeper. This problem was not just vanity. It was about power. Meghan built her entire post-royal identity on controlling her image. The perfect lighting, the perfect pose, the perfect message. But those photos reminded her of something she cannot stand to face. When Meghan does not control the room does not choose her. So a new strategy began forming. If she could not dominate the Kardashian crowd, then the next step was obvious. The only place left to climb was toward Bezos, and Lauren was already paying attention. At this elite level of society, the top shelf, the diamond tier, the private jet lifestyle. Nothing is announced loudly. Power travels through whispers, through raised brows, through long glances across gala tables, and private comments shared over champagne poured from bottles worth more than a car. And within those quiet circles, people reportedly started noticing Meghan placing herself carefully, stepping into the right rooms, greeting the right groups, smiling at strategic moments, and positioning herself anywhere Bezos' influence might drift. But here comes the delicious twist. Everyone knew Lauren was watching, not angry, not insecure, not nervous, just aware.
While Sanchez is surrounded by the hottest stars in Hollywood, Markle is finding it impossible to land an A-list guest for her struggling podcast.
Women like Lauren do not fight with noise. They block with silence. And sources say that is exactly what she did, making sure Meghan was never allowed to get close enough to become anything more than a distant satellite spinning outside their powerful orbit. Hollywood noticed the distance. Billionaires noticed it. But the person who felt it the hardest was Meghan. In the world she is trying to climb back into, power is no longer symbolized by a royal crown. Today, it looks like a rocket launch, a media empire, or a single phone call that can change someone's future forever. Jeff Bezos is a kingmaker, someone who can launch careers with just one signature. Lauren Sanchez stands right beside him as the confident, established, socially untouchable queen. And Meghan? She is standing at the edge of a glittering universe she can see clearly, but she cannot reach it. She tried Hollywood. She tried royalty. She tried Netflix. She tried the Kardashians. Now she has tried orbiting Bezos, only to find Lauren guarding the galaxy with a calm smile that says everything without speaking a single word. So the world watches, not loudly, but with intense curiosity. Will Meghan make another attempt? Will she shift her strategy yet again? Will she reach higher, or will she slip down another level? Because in this rare circle, nothing stays still. Power moves quietly, alliances shift, doors open and close in silence. And one thing remains certain, this story is far from over. It is simply waiting for Meghan's next move.